rebel, separatist, nonconformist. There are many things that come to mind whenever I say those three words. They could describe a group of people who might be considered cultural black sheep. And by the way, this flock is only growing. It is time we recognize the connection between the traditions of old, the evolution of new, and the way society should begin to view the transformative nature that is body modification. So you may ask, what exactly is body modification? To clarify, it is the act of deliberately altering the human anatomy or physical appearance. We will begin by analyzing the history of body modification across the world. Then we will work to review the various types of modifiers there are in today's society. And finally, we will address the sociological perspective of body modification. To begin, the primitive nature of humanity is fascinating and provides a glimpse as to the origins of this practice. Asia has been a huge influence in the growth of body modification. Tattoos were used for spiritual and decorative purposes in Japan and would signify the individual's status within their society. Initially used to tag criminals, tattoos began to be used by the samurai as replacement for armor taken from the emperor. After eventually being banned from the government, a subculture known as the Yakuza used the practice of tattooing to develop full-body tattoos for defiance purposes. Foot binding was another taboo modification, restricted to mostly young, upper-class women. This practice formed as a way to separate the genders and force women to conform to cultural expressionism. India also has some interesting origins for body modification. Tattoos were used as permanent jewelry, and many tribes designated the sexes only certain types of tattoos. The Apatani tribe, for example, tattooed young girls to prevent kidnapping, and thus make the women less appealing. Also, some tribal women would tattoo their faces to ensure they could recognize each other in the spiritual world after death. Temporary tattoos using mehndi were prevalent in ritualistic celebrations and are still today. Piercings were also significant to the Hindu Indian people. Established in tradition, Indian women would pierce their left nostril in honor of familial heritage. Europe maintained its own form of body modification. Corseting has been used in many patriarchal societies and was introduced into mainstream European society in the 16th century. Brought about by Catherine de' Medici and quoted from the Gleason's Pictorial Drawing Room Companion, women considered corseting indispensable to the beauty of the female figure. Comprised of whalebone, horn, ivory, steel, and wood, the original corsets were meant to distinguish the elite. Africa is well known for having led the way in extreme body modification. Piercings of the ears, body, lips, and face were initially and still today used to convey tribal prominence. Scarification exhibited rank, strength, and beauty amongst the African tribes. Women used this practice to testify to the men that they could withstand the pain. Men would scar themselves as a trophy for battle. By understanding what is considered body modification today, we can start deciphering its significance to the shaping of society and its ideals. Listed here are a few things that we will be reviewing: piercings, tattoos, subdermal implants, body binding, stretching, and scarification. To begin, piercings are probably the most prevalent modification in all of our society. The puncturing of the skin with metal to adorn the body is a common practice even with the youngest generation. Tattoos are certainly a considerable part of the field of body modification. Applying ink to skin through the continual puncture of needles. A more recent development of body modification are implants. The cutting of skin to insert sterile items that protrude through the skin. Body binding, the compression of anatomy through the use of corsets or binding, has been used in upper societal circles and has been reintroduced in today's society. Stretching and scarification are sub-modifications of piercings and tattoos. Stretching uses an increasingly larger object to stretch a pierced area. Scarification is the burning or cutting away of skin to create a design or aesthetic. Finally, the sociological impact of body modification has grown increasingly over the recent decades. According to the Harris poll, completed in 2015, 3 in 10 U.S. adults have at least one tattoo, which is an increase from 2 in 10 just 3 years earlier, and significantly higher than the 1936 estimates of only 6%. Also noteworthy from a Pew Research poll is that nearly half of millennials today have a tattoo or piercing other than an earlobe. Based on these findings, the professional workplace is less likely today to raise concerns about body modification, including tattoos. So, how does this make you feel? Has it changed your idea and concept of what to assume for body modification? Shaping societies, communities, and individuals, body modification has and continue to have and maintain its relevance. It is my hope that through enlightenment and understanding, you too will walk away with a new perspective about how people are shaped by their modifications. Thank you.